Welcome this morning, and thank you for attending the Mobile and Web GIS Communicating with the General Public session. Our speaker today is Peter Erlenbach. Peter is a GIS technician at Maser Consulting, specializing in survey, utility, and GIS applications using Esri products and Python RStudio Scripting. Peter also handles business development for Maser's Charlotte office. If you're looking for continuing education credit, please make sure your full name is correct on your Zoom login. And just to let you know, the session is being recorded and will be available on the conference website after the event. Peter will take your questions at the end of this presentation, but please submit your questions in the chat throughout the session. Thank you.
Thanks for that introduction, Dale. I appreciate it. Again, this is Mobile and Web GIS Communicating with the General Public. My name is Peter Erlenbach. Dale gave a great intro about me. Just to give you a little bit more, I graduated Virginia Tech in 2018, and I'm a master's candidate at NC State, so go Hokies and Pack if there are any out there, and I'm happy to be here. So I promised myself during this presentation I'm going to mention COVID as little as possible, and that's because we've probably been overloaded with COVID and that term pretty often, but fortunately for us, COVID has pushed us all to work remotely. Luckily, GIS platforms have been moving online and away from the purely desktop aspect of GIS for some time, which has allowed us to engage stakeholders, whether they be public or client-based, and make them easily aware of important issues within the public. So this means that people can interact with an ArcGIS platform with little to no knowledge about GIS, and really all you're going to need is to have kind of that smart device knowledge. So if you know how to use your iPhone, desktop, or iPad, that's really all you need. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of terminology up here about GIS servers and clients. What we need to take away is that GIS is no longer housed. You don't have to go to a GIS specialist only, in an office and ask for a paper map. We're moving a lot to that web-based platform, which makes it a lot easier to share and collect information. So before we get too in-depth in the presentation, I want to go over some brief terminology. Web maps and web apps are two separate things, I'm sure a lot of us know, but they're very close words, so I wanted to make sure we understood the difference between the two. My manager, Mike Colodi, always gives a really good explanation of this. So web maps are just like you would see in an ArcGIS desktop software, Arc Pro. It's a map. It contains information, allows you to pan around and interact with the data that's within the map itself. However, the application consumes the map and displays the map only, and also gives important metrics behind that comes from behind the data. So as we go through that, a dashboard takes, or the infamous COVID dashboard, there's one, I'm keeping count, utilizes data from Johns Hopkins and then displays important metrics, whether it be deaths, recoveries, or active cases around the area. I don't know if you guys have heard of a company called Esri. They're a little bit big in our world, but they've been in the business for 70 years and are a market leader in GIS and work with clients to develop solutions for their need, both local municipalities and government entities. So Maser Consulting's been a silver partner with them since 2017. And really what that means is that we are aware of their technology and the new stuff that's coming out. We work with them actively to develop unique solutions for complex problems. So it allows us to stay up to date about their upcoming concepts and where they're going as far as field applications and experience builder. So maps can be used to share information, answer questions, and ideally interact with data. A few examples of what this can be used for can be seen in the slide. So for example, leaf pickup, zoning maps, street sweeping, recycling, and property lookup. So how does that help you? Well, I hope no one really enjoys getting interrupted via phone call when they're trying to do their workload. So with maps being shared, citizens can answer questions such as, what is my block and lot? Where does my property begin and end? Roughly, not to a survey grade, but where are the nearest open spaces, public parking, or transportation opportunities for me? So instead of fielding those phone calls and redirecting people around your office, you can limit the amount of phone calls coming into the town just by sharing this information via a public web mapping application. COVID-19, this is the second time, still counting. With COVID on the rise, we've seen a need to share information more than ever. Web maps can be interacted with to inquire about local food options, business opportunities, and curbside pickup even. I know for me, I like to go out at least once a week to try and pick up food and not cook. So it's good to know where I can have that curbside pickup and if there's any specials being offered. Additionally, you can look up for health services. Where can I get tested? For those of us who have been tested and had the, I guess it's a pick of some sort up your nose, we can figure out the testing site, hours of operations, contact information, and how to sign up. And then directly afterwards, we can go to the retail store for potential pain medication and tissues. So if we drill down a little bit more into the focused applications, certain aspects of government and client information can be incorporated into these focused applications to provide more specific information. For me, I'm an avid runner, so I like the City of Charlotte's Citizen Problem Reporter, which was shown to us a little bit earlier in the conference. With this application, I can see where reports of common traffic issues occur, and based on a recent report from a citizen. So are there open spaces for me to run? Have vehicles been running the no turn on red signals and ignoring pedestrian walkways? Are sidewalks or biking lanes present for me to be in? All of these are important. There are a little bit more examples here as far as a tax map parcel viewer. And we also have the mosquito control, which shows you and notifies you that there's going to be mosquito control in your area, not to be alarmed when someone drives on your property. Moving on to the public notification web app, this application is used as a more focused example as well. This example is unique because it's used internally instead of showing information externally to your stakeholders or the public. This allows the user of an internal municipality to search for block and lot information within a certain distance. Most people refer to this as a 200-foot owner list, but it can be used for a variety of things. With this information, you can generate mailing lists and make sure you're aware of what is going to be affected within that area. The events calendar application is a very useful web application, and it's unique in the fact that it's a 2-in-1 combo, and we're going to go over the second portion here in a minute. This events calendar application is a pretty elegant solution to allowing users to research events and being held in the immediate area. It's useful to disseminate information to the general public at any time. As we start to open up after our pandemic, it's more important to engage these applications to make sure that users are aware of what's happening around the area. Is there tourism? Do we want to attract tourism? What's the capacity that's going to be allowed for these events, right? So the goal would be to aggregate information instead of duplicating it. You don't want to duplicate information that's already on the website of another portal. You just want a simple version, as you can see in the pop-up, all in one spot to have that one-stop shop. So for example, again, I'm an avid runner. I'd like to know where a marathon is, but after my marathon, I want to gain back all the calories that I lost and go to a beer tasting. So I want to know, one, where my marathon is being held and where to park, what the general admission of the ticket is, and then additionally, how can I get from point A to point B, which is my beer festival, and how much does that cost, and tell me a little bit about it. Are there multiple beer festivals in my area? All very important questions. So this solution creates points within the map and links relevant information that can be filtered on date. So additionally, I won't be able to see things that are outside of, say, my 1-day range that I'm going on my marathon. So it's a very important and good concept, and I use it very often. So the second portion of this is kind of going to be our events map gallery, right? So our events map gallery is kind of an all-in-one stop shop for bigger events. So say, for example, I wanted to attend a St. Patrick's Day parade or Memorial Day parade. I would click into these links and very easily be able to see the relevant map information that's associated with it. As you can see here, we've clicked into the Memorial Day parade and taken a look at everything that's in here. It gives us the event that we're attending, potential assets that we've clicked, which in this situation is the restroom in the Southwest, and the location and the time frame that it's going to be attended in. We can see a polygon to the left as well, which is our staging area. Green is the event route, and then barricade is in orange. This seems relatively simple, but when placed on a mobile device, becomes a really powerful solution for users. I can quickly navigate with ease. Where do I need to go? What is the capacity, and is social distancing being involved? I see this as a way to engage your stakeholders and make them comfortable enough to come out and interact with events and generate revenue for the town, and even make sure everyone's living that happy, healthy lifestyle. Additionally, information that's not in here that's become a little bit relevant as of late. Where are my hand sanitizing stations? Are there mass distribution areas? Where can I park and where is the capacity? Or what is the capacity? And based on that capacity, do I feel comfortable going? So these are all things we want to consider and give to the public so that they can easily make that decision if they'd like to attend this event. Another simple solution of web applications to engage the public is Park Locator Web, or the Park Locator Web App. This Park Locator Web App allows you to filter available parks based on activity and location. This is powerful for parents who want to drill down where to fish, hike, and bird watch with their kids. Right now, I'm in college, I'm 26, I don't have kids, so it doesn't apply to me as much, but I'd still like to be able to figure out, where can I interact with sports? Where can I go mountain biking? I'm also an avid fisherman, so I like to be able to go out and see what parks are available to me. So while this is a great way to engage people and show them where our parks is and have a drill down filter based on activity, time, and location, I'd also like to introduce you guys to a little bit of an alternative concept, which is the story map. So a story map, and more recently and hopefully upcoming experience builder, has become a widely used concept to engage citizens instead of focusing on engaging people within your department. So we've talked a lot about sharing internally. Now we're going to be sharing externally as well. So this concept moves beyond traditional GIS and works to combine text, maps, GIS data, videos, sound clips, and PDFs, and to a really just stunning display at the end of the day. Before creating these, you can see on the right, Macer Consulting usually takes the liberty of drawing up a mock-up so that we can understand what the client's looking for or what you guys have in mind for an end concept, and we draw it up, sketch it out to you, and kind of receive feedback so that we're on the same page and there's no back and forth, and it's a simple and easy process. So I have one of these for you guys, and we're going to go ahead and switch to the next slide, but it's just going to be a brief video, and like I said, if you want to see this video again, just feel free to reach out to me. So this is our Bethlehem Authority story map. This story map was created for an area in New Jersey, and you can go through here and see, like, it's displaying the location of each map, the size of the park that it's associated with, and it just displays that general information and gives, the size, activities that can be associated with it, and a little bit about, the watershed in that area. So as we continue to scroll down as well, you can see hiking trails are displayed. So for me, again, I'm an avid hiker and fisher as well. So being able to see where these points are and where they start as far as the trailhead go is great. What animals can I see in these areas? And give me some pictures of some potential views I can see. So you can see those are all linked into one easy and simple platform. One thing we scrolled by pretty quick here is that trout streams map. That is a ArcGIS web layer that if you click that from the story map, it takes you to a web app where you can go trout fishing, and it'll give you points and feedback as to how productive the fishing has been recently based on citizen input, which again is an extremely powerful tool to draw people out of their homes and engage in the local parks. So you can go through bird watching, take pictures of an owl taking a wink at you. Really, however it works, you want to put it up there. For this particular project, the Bethlehem Authority did not have GIS trails, so they gave us a paper map instead, which we could link in there. And we are working with them as well to kind of fix that issue. So again, that's the Bethlehem story map, and it just gives a really stunning display as to how GIS and I guess a web page in reality can link together and engage people to come out and enjoy these parks. So the benefits and examples of story maps, right? So as we mentioned earlier, the solution's very elegant and stunning. It allows the community to get engaged and just enjoy something, whether or not they want to go out or just see it from home. So for me, I have two grandparents that don't come out of the house too often with everything going on. So for them, I showed this to them and they enjoyed it. They had a very good time just being able to see and click around. And the next day they found another one and kind of have gotten into their own GIS situation as well. My manager passed along a great statistic that I like to share. So in total, the average person spends about 30 seconds on a website, a very brief moment of time when it comes to, I guess, taking in information. For a story map, the person takes approximately 5 minutes and 30 seconds to peruse. So a very drastic increase in the amount of time that's associated with that visit. So it allowed, again, that shows us that people want to engage in these types of activities and see exactly what's going on. This tells us people enjoy it, and additionally, we have some great examples listed. So you can do historic properties and districts. I know another story map we've developed recently out of our Raleigh office with Amanda Patton. She's one of our GIS technicians, and she created a planning and zoning map that showed past zoning areas and planning areas compared to new and proposed. So you can see what your area was and what it's been and how that money is being utilized to, I guess, change your local municipality or the area that you live in. But we've talked a lot about municipality story maps. You can do story maps for anything. I know I'm working on a project right now for a story map for my church. They do a local, I guess, choir group, and they travel around and they're having trouble recruiting people right now. So again, we've implemented a story map for them that's kind of in the works, or at least I am personally, and it allows them to see what's happening, where they've been, what the group is about, and it has sparked some excitement within that group as well. So the point is it can be specific to whatever you'd like. You just need to figure that out as you go along, and we can be willing to meet with you and discuss that. So we've talked a lot about sharing information and engaging people and putting up platforms, right? But what if you want to receive data from your stakeholders or the public, as it said? So as I mentioned earlier, the city of Charlotte, which is where I reside, is an excellent example of this that I engage with often. The Citizen Input Reporter allows you to go in and report non-emergency, keyword there, non-emergency observations. These reports are timestamped and location-based, which provides really great insight for the municipality. So you can see if there's some illegal hunting going on, or ATV use, or timber theft. I don't think we have timber theft as a problem here in Charlotte, but just an example. So for me, I've utilized a similar platform like this when I was in my undergrad, and I worked with the Virginia Department of Transportation. They utilize that to engage police officers who report crash incidents, which then they take and look at on a high level and say, where are there a lot of incidents? And they can place, officers as needed to try and reduce the amount of incidents that occur there, or simply trim a bush, which is a very simple example, which can provide a better level of visibility. So it just allows you to create, or I guess digest that information and make decisions based on real-time information. So talking a little bit more about the gathering of citizen input, another example of this is it was used to meet MS4 requirements. So the Adopt a Catch Basin program. We've implemented this in a couple areas up in New Jersey, and it engages citizens with stormwater management programs. As I'm sure a lot of people are aware, you can't manage every catch basin in real time. So why not use the people that are around it? So this program allows citizens to adopt a catch basin and report issues along their street. It allows you to see a color-coded view of kind of, is there problems within a catch basin? What is the issue? And that allows you to also manage the maintenance. So if you need to, say we can see here that Jefferson Mill has adopted a catch basin, it's visible to the public, but it's clogged. So as a manager, you can see that through a dashboard on the back end and say, okay, I need to set a work order up for that, or we need to get that taken care of at some point. So you can monitor what the status is of those maintenance issues and see if you need to take any action on them. So these are all, when you put them out to the public, or domain, so that there's no spelling errors and things of that nature. So in conclusion, the goal of having a public GIS application is really just to improve the quality of life, which I think is very important right now. We also want to promote local businesses in the economy and address situations and concerns more efficiently. Talking about the local businesses, not to keep pumping up the city of Charlotte, but they've done an excellent job of creating a web platform that allows users to engage and see exactly what we described. Are they delivering specials or anything? Are they open? That's the big question, right? You hate to drive out somewhere and not have it open. So additionally, these platforms are all housed online. So which means they're available 24/7 for use and require extremely minimal maintenance. So, instead of banning your computer at all hours of the day, you can come back the next day and it'll still be running and still receiving information as needed. You don't need to be by your computer to maintain it other than to make adjustments. So additionally, I provided some good links here. These are just examples of things that we do and items that we've developed. You can see there the Bethlehem Authority public map, or public access StoryMap is there, along with some of Esri's local government solutions that we implement as well regarding MS4 requirements and data collection. So if you have any questions, again, my name's Peter. I'll be around the exhibit hall if you need me. Just shoot me an email. And you can also come and watch us again over on Kenton Urich's presentation, which is, I believe, in 2 sessions. It's not the one directly after me, it's 2 after. And he'll be presenting on a pain point regarding CAD to GIS and providing a lot of helpful information there. So with that, if there's any questions, willing to answer those now.
Thank you very much, Peter. If anyone has questions, please post them in the chat box. And wanted to let you know that the actual links for the helpful links that Peter has provided are actually now posted in the chat box, so you can cut and paste those. Thanks, and if there are any questions, please post them in the chat box. And then we'll have a short feedback poll that'll pop up on your screen regarding the session. And please fill that out. That would be great. We do have one question.
Okay.
What's the favorite project that you've worked on?
That's a good question. I'd say my favorite is we work with NCDOT, which is obviously Department of Transportation. We work on a big statewide project with them called Project Atlas, where we develop sewer service area boundaries for, I guess, as a data availability for planning. I like that because I can talk to people, which I think is at least one of my strengths. So I can engage with people and learn more about the sewer service area networks that, right now it's a little bit of a new field to me, but I've been doing that for a while. And just allows me to get out and talk to people and share the news about GIS. Sometimes all the information's up in their head. Sometimes they have a map. Sometimes they have a GIS network. So you see and learn more every day with that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, everyone. Really appreciate your time. Peter, excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And thanks for everyone for attending the session.